Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for braving the coronavirus and coming out of hiding today to meet me here for this live class. And I see lots of questions are coming in already since 3:48. Questions have been coming in, and Kelly will get to all of your questions. So have no fear, guys and gals. The beauty of online classes is that you get to learn awesome information from the safety of your own home or your private space where no one is sneezing on you and compromising your health. And hopefully, you've got enough toilet paper to make it through this class. We'll be here for about 35 or 40 minutes, and I'm sure that you're going to make it through. So while we're waiting for folks to hop on, because we have people coming from all over the world, let's go over some of the technical details. If at any time during this live class you lose audio or video, just hop off and hop back on again, and that should solve that problem. And if it's more complicated than that, I cannot help. But you can put your question into the chat box, and hopefully Kelly can help you with that because I'm not that computer savvy. I can certainly help you discover natural healing therapies to heal disease and boost your immunity, but the computer stuff, not so much. Not not for me. You're not going to get that information from me. So hopefully you'll be able to hear and see everything that I'm going to cover today, because it will not only help you understand what food and herbs can help you prevent cancer, which is our main topic, but it will also strengthen your immune system so you don't need to be in a panic about the coronavirus that is sweeping the world right now. So like I said, we got about 35 or 40 minutes and a lot to cover. So grab yourself a pen and a paper. Plus, you'll get a copy. Whoever's on here, you're going to get a copy of the recording. So don't worry about that. That recording will be available for you. But if you want to take your own notes, grab a pen and paper. This way you can write down the points that resonate with you and you can start applying them now, because now is when you need them. This is about prevention, right? So let's take a moment to get present. It's vital that you are present, because if you are not present, you will miss something very important. When we are present, we are aware. We have greater insight and know exactly what we need. Human beings are simply amazing creatures, but for the past few hundred years, we have been taught otherwise. We have been warned that we are victims of disease and powerless over our conditions, and that is not necessarily true. We'll get into that a little bit later, but first, let's just get present. To get present is kind of easy breezy. We are simply going to connect our breath to our body. I want you to feel your butt in the chair that you're sitting. Feel your back in the chair. Wiggle your toes around a little bit and feel your feet in your shoes. If you're wearing shoes, I'm just wearing socks because I'm in the comfort of my home. I'm just wearing little socks. And let's just breathe. So we're going to start by exhaling out. Get rid of all the tension and the stress of the news that has been bombarding us with all these coronavirus updates. And then we're going to take a deep breath in, and this is to support our lungs. We're going to take a deep breath in and exhale out the carbon and the waste. And take another deep breath in. And exhale and feel the air coming out of your nostrils or out of your mouth, however you're breathing. And take another deep breath in. Support your lungs and exhale. And take another deep breath in. And exhale. All the oxygen that you're bringing into your body and making yourself less stressed, all this oxygen is feeding all of the cells in your body. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. And deep breath in. And just relax as much as possible. And we're going to get into why this is so important that you relax. And exhale. And last time. And exhale. Now I want you to feel your butt again, literally feel your butt in the chair, feel your body Wiggle your toes around a little bit, right? So when you connect the breath to the body, it's how you get present. Um, and it's at that, when you're doing that, there should be no other thoughts except the breath. Where's the breath going? Is it going, breathing in, breathing out, through, like you can feel the breath coming in and going out. And that's simple. Just simply connecting to your breath is going to help to release and relax your body and decrease the stress. So now that we're all present, hopefully we're all present, I want to thank you again for joining me today for this live class. I'm going to cover a lot of information in the short amount of time that we have together. So let's get started. Let me go to my first slide. This is what you're going to learn today. Our cancer statistics are soaring all over the world. You're going to learn why it's essential to boost immunity to prevent cancer. I'm going to give you specific foods and herbs to clear the detoxification pathways. I'm also going to show you how to create the death of cancer cells. That's called apoptosis, right? So a cancer cell is like a rogue cell that refuses to die. All cells they have a birth and they have a death. And cancer cells refuse to die. They keep multiplying and multiplying without dying. So what we want to do is create something called apoptosis. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then what to do right now to prevent becoming a statistic. So for those of you that may be meeting me for the first time, my name is Andrea Beaman. I'm an internationally renowned health coach and educator. I'm a natural food chef and an herbalist, all rolled up into one happy and healthy human being. I was named one of the top 100 most influential health practitioners, health and fitness experts. I'm the recipient of the Natural Gourmet Institute Award for Excellence in Health Supportive Education and the Health Leadership Award from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I also teach a wide variety of online training programs that reach students, clients, and practitioners around the world. So I'm happy that you're here. You give me purpose. Without you, I would be talking to myself all day, which I do, which sometimes drives my husband crazy. But maybe we'll do another class on mental health at another time. So today we're covering a serious topic, and it comes at the perfect time because right now the coronavirus is spreading across the globe and people are in a panic and they're scared. And that panic and that fear about disease will tank your immune system and increase your risk for illness. So a very similar thing happens with cancer. There is a lot of fear around cancer. And again, that fear will tank your immune system and compromise your health in so many ways. So there's a reason for that. Physically, when we're in a state of high stress and fear, blood sugar goes up, the release of stress hormones like cortisol actually shuts down the immune system to conserve the body's energy for running away from the perceived threat, right? This is physiologically what happens in the body. So stress hormones are so effective at compromising the immune response and the immune system that physicians will give, organ transplant recipients, they'll give them stress hormones to prevent their immune system from rejecting the implant. Okay, so keep that in mind. To put it simply, when we have external stressors and fear, right, from an outside threat, our energy is diverted away from our internal immune system and it is pushed outwardly to help us flee from danger. That's just the way that our bodies work. Our bodies are brilliant. They're very, very smart. So you have to absolutely, no matter what is the condition, you have to reduce the stress around it. So I'm going to give you a really quick story before we drive in and get started. We drive in, drive to the drive-in, get started. There's a great little movie that I just saw the other day. It's called The Farewell, and it's based on a true story about a Chinese family going through the process of dealing with the grandmother's cancer. So the grandmother was, she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and she was given literally 3 months to live. Now, the grandmother was not told about her diagnosis. They did not tell her that according to her tests and the x-rays and what the doctor said, that she only had 3 months to live. And even the doctor agreed that it was best not to tell the grandmother. So They did that to let her live her life without the fear of knowing that she's going to die in 3 months, which would kill her quicker. So they kept the stage 4 death sentence a secret from the grandmother. And at the end of the movie, for those of you that haven't seen it, I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert. At the end of the movie, we find out that it's now 6 years after her 3-month diagnosis, and she's actually still alive. So I want you to keep this in mind as I go through this class today, that fear and stress about disease will kill you quicker than the cancer ever will. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So let's get started. Let me go to my, let's go here. So cancer is everywhere that human beings are. It's not a modern disease. It's been around for a long time. The earliest descriptions of cancer appeared in ancient Egypt around 1600 BC, so it's not a new disease. But what is new about cancer are the staggering statistics of occurrence and the way that cancer is treated. We've built an entire industry that thrives on diagnosing and treating cancer of all kinds, and it's a very, very profitable industry. So these statistics I took from the American Cancer Society. Cancer, according to them, is the second most common cause of death in the United States. Heart disease is still number one. It's been number one for a long time. And I talked about that in my my heart disease class. You can find that on my website. And there's a lot of reasons why heart disease is number one. But I'm not going to get into that now. So it's estimated new cases of cancer in 2020 is 1.8 million. And then about 600,000 of Americans are expected to die from cancer in 2020. That's this year. That is approximately 1,600 deaths per day. 40 out of 100 men and 39 out of 100 women will develop cancer in their lifetime. So we're almost at the 50% mark. And so these are the American Cancer Society statistics, and they're quite frightening when you look at them. But I need you to keep in mind that cancer is everywhere around the world. So let's take a look at that. So this is the global statistics. So the global statistics actually has Australia with 468 per 100,000. So they're closer to the 50% mark. And then New Zealand and Ireland and Hungary, and the US is actually number five on the list. Then we have Belgium, France, Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands. And I only took the top 10 countries, but cancer is everywhere that humans are. So since cancer is not a new disease and it's basically everywhere affecting everyone, what can we do to prevent it and potentially heal it naturally? Because these statistics are the staggering statistics that we're seeing are new, but cancer is not new. But it's never, ever been as high in the population as it is now, ever in human history. So contrary to what the fear mongers in the profitable cancer industry will recommend, which is diagnose, cut, poison, burn the body, there is actually a lot that we can do. Right? So I'm going to give you the alternative, and then you make your choices. That's the way that it works, right? It's great that we have choices. If you want to cut and burn and radiate the body, then certainly that's what you do, and that's your choice. And if you want to try something naturally, that's what you do, and that's your choice. But the key here is to go into either of those therapies with no fear. Meaning, if you get diagnosed with the cancer, remember that the fear is going to inhibit the functioning of the immune system, right? It's okay to have a fear, like an initial fear, like, oh crap, man, what am I going to do? But it's the chronic fear, right? The over and over and over and over chronic fear, chronic stress, that's going to keep the immune system down, and that's going to make the cancer continue to grow and proliferate throughout the body. So for the past few decades, the focus has been on our genes. It was initially thought that if you had the genes for cancer, then you were at risk for developing the cancer. But guess what? That is simply not true anymore. And even the American Cancer Society acknowledges that fact. Let me show you this next slide. I got this directly from the American Cancer Society website. They said, although our genes influence our risk of cancer, most of the difference in cancer risk between people is due to factors that are not inherited. Avoiding tobacco products, staying at a healthy weight, staying active throughout life, and eating a healthy diet may greatly reduce a person's lifetime risk of developing or dying from cancer. Now, this is something very important to keep in mind because they're acknowledging, even though that for the past 2 decades or 3 decades, they've been saying it's your genes, it's your genes, it's your genes. You got the BRCA1, you got the BRCA. This is cancer, right? Now they're acknowledging that it's not necessarily the gene that it may not turn on. There are other factors that are not inherited. So even if you have a gene for a specific cancer, that does not mean you're going to develop that cancer. Your genes need a trigger or a variety of triggers to express themselves, like diet and lifestyle behaviors. And diet is what we're going to cover today. And here's why diet impacts the cells and can trigger the genes. So let's come here. So this is, I love Bruce Lipton, so I love quoting him. He's a cell biologist, and he was on the forefront of epigenetics like 40 years ago. All right, and he was laughed out of the scientific community. You know, they said, listen, this is hogwash, but now we're swinging full circle, coming back to epigenetics, and they're saying, okay, yeah, there is something to it. So according to Bruce Lipton, who like I said, one of my favorite modern day scientists, he says the fate of the cell is controlled by the conditions of the environment. The blood composition is really the factor that controls the genetic response of the cell. That is epigenetics. That's what that means, right? So you have to have these triggers in place. And what he's saying is that the blood composition is the factor that controls the genetic response of the cell. And that's also what the ancient healers said as well. That the blood, you have to make sure that the blood is healthy and the blood is strong. So that means that we have much more control over the fate of our cells than previously thought. So if you have a specific cancer gene, you may not actually develop that disease, especially if you have the know-how to change the quality of your blood, which is the cell's environment. I hope that that is very clear. Okay, so as modern science works to catch up to what ancient healers already knew about using food and herbs as medicine, I'm going to advise you to not wait for any additional scientific data to roll in. Start creating better quality blood right now with your food choices. I talked about lifestyle a little bit with stress, but we're going to focus on food and herbs and some specific mushrooms today. So let's look at blood a little deeper, right? So blood is made up of plasma. The majority of your blood, by the way, is plasma. That is derived from the water and the salts that are absorbed through the digestive tract. That means a liquid medium is the quickest and most effective way to alter the chemistry of the plasma in your blood. This is essential to note because that means that soups, stews, teas, decoctions, and juices are the ideal foods to put into your body to alter the quality of your blood, right? Because keep in mind that plasma is what makes up the majority of your blood, and that's derived, again, from the water and the salts absorbed through the digestive tract. So besides plasma, we also have red blood cells that are made in the bone marrow, and they live approximately 4 months before they're broken down by the spleen and the other organs, and they're recycled. And then we have white blood cells and platelets that support immunity. So when it comes to changing the quality of your blood and your internal environment, you got to be patient, and you have to give yourself at least 4 months to start seeing results. So if your red blood cells, the birth and the death of the red blood cell is 120 days, right, or 4 months. Is that 120 days? Maybe it's 160 days. I don't know how many months, how many days in a month? 30. So you have to wait. You have to give your body the food that it needs every single day, right, for at least 4 months, so that you could see the quality of the blood changing. So that means that it's not one meal. It's not 2 meals. It's not a week of meals. It's not 2 weeks of meals. It's changing your diet so that you're eating 3 meals a day for a period of time, right? Or even 2 meals a day for a period of time that is consistently changing the quality of your blood. So that after 4 months, you've had a full recycle, so to speak. right? A full recycle. And then, of course, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. In ancient medicine, it takes approximately 7 years to get to all of the organs and all of the bones and change their qualities, the quality of them as well, by changing the blood. So that's something to consider. Like just like cancer, nobody just wakes up and says, "Oh, I got cancer." It's been growing for years. And to heal the cancer, it may also take years. But people get so scared and so driven by fear that immediately, okay, breasts come off, goodbye breast, goodbye colon, goodbye, right? Taking all these organs out without changing the quality of the blood. And this is a decision that you have to make. It's a decision that you have to make, right? So let's look at what you can start doing right now to change the quality of your blood, your plasma, your cells. And this is to both boost immunity, right? Because remember, the immune cells are also changing all the time. And we're going to use this to prevent and heal cancer, as well as keep your body strong enough and healthy enough to withstand coronavirus, right? So again, we're focusing on immunity. And one of the reasons why we're focusing on immunity with cancer is because there are many. Well, I'll talk about that when we get to the mushrooms. Don't let me get ahead of myself. I get excited about food and diet and health and all that stuff. So let me go to the next screen. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff we already know, right? These 5 steps we already know. The first one is a no-brainer. Eat an organic whole foods diet. I'm not talking about restrictive diets focusing on weight loss or the latest cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs food diet, which is all meat, right? That's the newest one, like the carnivore diet. You just eat meat every day, 3 meals a day. And then you have the no meat diet and your high fat diet and your low fat diet and your keto diet. You're all carb, you're no carb, you're all veg, you're no veg. It's cuckoo. When I say cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I literally mean cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I'm talking about just a wholesome diet that includes traditional recipes in a liquid medium that are naturally and lovingly prepared, made with the best quality ingredients you can buy. Because if you're going to spend money preventing this very expensive disease, and it is an expensive disease, spend it wisely. So that means buy organic, pesticide-free food as often as possible. You are worth it. Your family is worth it. There is absolutely no denying the connection between pesticides and cancer. There's no denying it anymore. Even the U.S. National Library of Medicine, the National Institute for Health, they all cite multiple studies linking a variety of cancer to exposure to pesticides. So don't waste your money inviting cancer into your body by eating pesticide-laden food. You're worth the 75-cent apple, right? And what I forget, somebody said either pay now or pay later, right? So pay a little bit more now or pay later. It depends on where you want to spend your money. Number 2 is to eliminate or reduce sugar. So eating or drinking too much sugar inhibits the immune cells for a few hours. So if you're ingesting sugar all day, as many people are, even healthy sugars, then that's going to set your body up for a host of problems. So I want to be clear that I'm not talking about sugar from berries, apples, sweet vegetables like squash and carrots, because those are also loaded with fiber and other nutrients. I'm talking about ding dongs, donuts, soda, chocolate bars, candy, and other crap. If you're eating sugar, even healthy sugars, all day long, you're just going to keep the immune system's just going to keep being suppressed. You're going to allow viruses to pop up to the surface. Number 3, reduce stress. I talked about that in the beginning of this class. Chronic stress will tank your immune system and let viruses proliferate. So quite a few viruses have been linked with increasing a person's risk of cancer, including Epstein-Barr, EBV, human papillomavirus, which is HPV, hepatitis B and C, HIV, the human herpesvirus. So all of these viruses have been implicated in increasing a person's risk of cancer. So some viruses are much more common than others, like EBV that infects over 90% of the population. Right? I have quite a few of these viruses myself, but I'm not worried about them triggering the cancer because I keep my immune system really strong. And I'm going to show you what we use specifically to keep the immune system really strong so that it keeps the viral loads down so that your immune system can do what it's supposed to do, right? Because if my body is constantly fighting EBV and herpes simplex and I forget what was the other one I have, CMV, cytomegalovirus. I forget what it is. Human beings, we're walking viruses, right? And you get viruses and they kind of hang around and they stay with you for the rest of your life. So what you want to do is you just want to keep the viral loads down, right? And then you keep your immunity up. And when you're doing this, you're automatically reducing your risk of cancer. And also a lot of times I see with skin cancers that the viruses are high, right? So let's keep the viral loads down. And this is great news, right? For coronavirus, this is now going crazy. So there are so many ways to minimize your risk of contracting a virus, any virus. The healthier and stronger your immune system is, the quicker it is to react to and prevent viral infections from taking hold and then proliferating throughout your system, right? So for those of you that are already infected with viruses, by the way, like I said, that's the vast majority of the population, including me. Some of my favorite herbs to keep viral loads down are lemon balm. You can have it as a tea, cat's cloth. You got viruses in the gut, licorice root, which is amazing, and especially for like a hep B and C. I mean, it's really great stuff. So like simple herbs, right? Simple herbs that you could get anywhere in any health food store. They're fantastic. Follow the instructions on the jars that they come in and incorporate them into I like to put them into teas, not cat's claw because it's really, really bitter, but lemon balm, licorice root. I mean, I love all that stuff. And just drink it. That's it. Like, we have a Starbucks on every corner with the coffee, and people are pounding the coffee and contributing to higher stress, right? Because they're putting their adrenals on high, right? So they're coffee every single day. It's actually not benefiting the body. Although for someone with cancer, coffee, especially a coffee enema, would really benefit the body because you just wipe everything out. Because coffee is draining, right? It's good to drain the body. All right, I know it's already 4:27. Let me get to numbers 4 and 5. Boosting immunity with mushrooms and supporting detoxification. So we're going to go to the next slide for that. But before we do, look at this dish right here. This fish dish, it's made with an iodine-rich dashi broth, as well as some brassica vegetables. You see the broccoli in there. And winter mushrooms are also known as enoki mushrooms. And this particular dish right here is excellent for both preventing and healing, specifically breast cancer. So, and we'll get to other cancers as well, but women with lower levels of iodine have increased risk of breast cancer. So this dish I'm going to be preparing it's one of the recipes I'm going to make in my upcoming Cooking for Cancer Prevention class, which is next week, and it's going to be a live cooking class. So you could also use this for like any cancer, right? Because you have the enoki mushrooms in there. You throw some shiitake mushrooms in there, they're going to support the liver. I mean, there's just and it's a water medium. That's what we want. We want a water medium. Okay, so let's come on to the next slide because it's already 4:30. This is foods and herbs for preventative medicine. Okay, astragalus root. Right now, everyone should be taking astragalus root, and you probably should have been taking it all winter long. So I live in the northeastern United States, and every single fall, I'm bumping up my astragalus because it supports immunity. It builds both red and white blood cells. For my clients that struggle with poor immunity, they're eating congee. I have them eating congee with both shiitake mushrooms, bok choy, ginger, and astragalus root, as well as some ginseng in there, right? So it's a liquid medium. It's astragalus root you could put into any stock. You could put into chicken stock, fish stock. I put it in the dashi broth. And what it does is it boosts the red and the white blood cells. It's amazing for preventing cancer, and it'll also help you cope with the coronavirus better. So for example, viruses have a tendency to bubble up in the spring right? Spring flu, you've all heard of that. Come up in the spring and then they go back down and then they come back in the fall. So let's say this coronavirus right now, it's going to affect a large portion of the population. Put your astragalus into your food now. Get it in now. It's going to start to boost up your red and your white blood cells. It's going to start your white blood cells boosting up, right? So that's going to happen immediately. And in 4 months, your immune system is going to be so strong because the red cells and the white cells are going to have their little regeneration, right? They're going to be recycled. You're going to have what's called new healthy blood. So then you're going to go into when is September, right? This is March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months. You're going to be golden. Golden. You won't have to worry about the second wave if it does come. Take away the fear. Take away the stress. Start taking your astragalus root now. It's an ancient herb. It's been used for centuries to boost immunity and build blood, but it was traditionally taken not as a pill, not as a supplement, but in a soup or a stew. Again, a liquid medium. You can go on my website. You can look for immune boosting kanji. That recipe will be there. Okay. All right. So let's move on to dandelion and burdock. I love them. So astragalus builds the blood and the immune system. Dandelion and burdock are the two roots that support the liver and cleansing, the detoxification process, right? So according to ancient healing, whenever there are lumps and bumps or growths in the body, you need to support the liver. So one of the liver's main jobs is to metabolize and detox the body. So dandelion supports the liver by clearing heat and clearing the detoxification pathway in the digestive system in the colon. And burdock supports the liver by helping to metabolize fats and clear the lymph. Now, I'm sure you guys all know the direct connect between the lymphatic system and your immune system, right? So the lymph is carrying those white blood cells, right? Carrying those killer cells, carrying them and bringing them where they need to go in the blood. Right? So this is very important. You want to make sure that the lymphatic system is working really well. Exercise helps. That's why daily exercise is wonderful, even for people that have cancer. I remember when oh my gosh, it's 4:32. I can't go into another story, but I'll tell you that even when my mom had her cancer and we initially went through modern medicine, radiation, chemotherapy. If I would know today what I knew then, I would have never done any of that with her. Her body was too she didn't have a strong constitution. So the chemotherapy and the radiation just wiped out, you know how chemo takes out your immune system because it goodbye, say goodbye to your immune system. So when I was first learning this stuff, the healer said, she needs to do these stretching exercises every day, and it was literally to stretch the lymph and open the meridians and that helps to move the blood and to move the fluids and get all the new blood where it needs to go and to break down the stuff. So I think exercise is great. I know that we're not talking about it here, but you need to move your lymph. Your lymphatic system needs actual movement in order to get the cells where they need to go, right? The new, healthy, fabulous cells. We got to get that lymph going. So it's 4:33. So let's go to medicinal mushrooms. The vast majority of the healing constituents that are in maitake, shiitake, enoki, turkey tail, and lion's mane, which is the one that's used for the brain, are all water soluble. That means, once again, we need to have them in a liquid medium. Mushrooms like reishi and chaga need to be actually decocted for long periods of time. That's up to 3 hours. And whether you're using the fruiting body, like the mushroom caps, or the mycelium, it also makes a difference as well. Now, I personally love mushrooms because they are the decomposers of the forest. That means that they work by decomposing cells or breaking down cells that need to die. They're decomposers. That's their energy, energetically. So cancer cells are cells that are refusing to die. Many of the medicinal mushrooms cause apoptosis of cancer cells. This is very important. So they need to be in every cancer protocol to help decompose those cancer cells, to flip on that P53 gene and get them to die. Right? So part of the problem with cancer and cancer cells is that those cells refuse to die. Well, we actually want to kill them, but we want to kill them without killing the human body. So this is the option, right? So get mushrooms into your diet in every way possible that you can. Make them delicious. I'll give you, oh, let me give you a good example. This email, I pulled it because it just came in yesterday. This email from Michelle, she said, hi, Andrea. I'm blonde, blue-eyed with fair complexion, and I've had one basal cell and two squamous cells removed. I wear a hat, lightly colored clothing, and I try to stay in the shade when I need to be outside. I've used sunscreen, but I've heard that it may not be safe to apply to your skin. Yes, you're right. If you look up some of the components in sunscreen when they get heated, they're actually carcinogenic. It's the craziest thing. So you're doing the right thing, staying in the shade, but you do need sun because that actually boosts immunity. So, get the sun before 10 o'clock and after 3 o'clock, but certainly expose yourself to the sun because it's healthy. And she said, what can I do to prevent future lesions from accruing? So here's where I would use mushrooms. I would have mushroom coffee, I would have mushroom in the tea, I would mushroom in the food. I would start to eat much more mushrooms, right? To prevent them from coming back. Right, because our body is already showing that here they are. We all have them. By the way, I have cancer cells and you have cancer cells in your body right now. Right now, nobody is immune. Mostly the immune system can handle them. Mostly we can break them down. Like your body goes into autophagy, especially when you fast, it goes in and starts to clean up the stuff. So I think fasting is wonderful as well. I'm sorry, it's 4:36. I got to move a little quicker. So for her, I would say, yeah, absolutely. Let's get mushrooms into your diet. So, and she also says, thank you for helping me to reverse my hypothyroid, right? Which in modern medicine, they say, well, you can't reverse it. This is your condition. You got to take this medication. But no, you can actually reverse it. Okay, so you're welcome, Michelle. Thank you for sending that email. And so there are many recipes for mushrooms on my website, AndreaBeaman.com. Plus, I will be covering how to cook specific mushrooms and what to use them for in my Cooking for Cancer Prevention class, which is coming up next week. So I'm going to share those details about that class with you now before I open up for all of these 800,000 questions that are coming into the box on the little side of my computer. Okay. So this is a live cooking demo. It's on 3/18, which is next Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you cannot make it to the live class, you will get access to the recording. During that 75-minute class, I will show you the best foods and herbs to incorporate into your diet right now and how to use them to improve immunity, support your detoxification pathways, inhibit the growth of future cancer cells, as well as cause apoptosis of the cells that are in your system right now. We'll cover easy and delicious recipes using ingredients to naturally boost immunity, medicinal mushroom recipes to trigger apoptosis of cancer cells and stimulate your immune system. I'll show you the dietary herbs that promote healthy detoxification, how to put them into a tea and a tincture and all that stuff. Actually, you can just purchase the tinctures. Plus, it's a live class with interaction. You can ask your questions and get the answers that you need live. You'll also get firsthand cooking knowledge and know-how. And with that, you'll gain confidence about taking care of your health. And of course, just as the American Cancer Society said, with diet and lifestyle adjustments, you can greatly reduce your risk of cancer, and this will reduce your hospital and medical costs significantly because cancer is expensive. So the cost of this class is $39, and regaining your health and strengthening your immunity is priceless. So Kelly's going to put that link into the chat box, and I'm going to take you over to the page and show you how easy it is to sign up before I open for about 5 minutes of questions. So let me grab that from the chat box. It'll take you to this page here. This is Learn It Live. And you go right here and you see this Cooking for Cancer Prevention and Healing. And you hit the Register Now button. Actually, let me do, because it may log me in to my thing, and I don't want to go to my thing. So let me go here. Oh, that won't let me go there. I want to go to there. All right, so let me try it, but I think it'll try and log me in. Yes, it's trying to log me in. So you would put in your email, uh, create a password, or see where it says, is this a new account? And then you would enter the site and sign up, and I'll see you next week live, next Wednesday live at 12:30. And if you cannot make it to the live class, don't worry. Within 24 hours, we have the recording up, and then you can access it whenever you are available. That's how easy it is to sign up, and you get a lifetime of priceless knowledge to help you and your family. Nina, yes. So send me an email and I will give you that. So Nina, send me an email to info@andreabeaman.com and I will give you that one for sure. Now let me see this. Clara says, can astragalus root be added to beans when cooking? Yeah, if you're going to cook those beans about 45 minutes, then you could put the astragalus root in there. Kristen says, what was the name of the mushroom coffee? You mentioned it on Facebook a while ago, or just the name of the mushroom you would replace coffee. So let me show you. If you go to my website, I think you guys can see my screen. If you go to my website and you come up here to this little search bar, see that little search bar up there, and you put in, look, somebody was searching for kanji, and you put in mushroom coffee, and then press enter. Okay, so that would bring you here to this blog post. And then you get to see how to make a mushroom coffee. If you want to make it yourself, it talks about coffee, what coffee does. Like, I'm not an anti-coffee person. If you need to drain your system, then absolutely use coffee. But if you are exhausted and already drained and your immune system is crashing, absolutely do not use coffee. Don't use caffeinated coffee from coffee beans. Don't do it. Just give your body time to build the energy, to build your immune system, to build that back up. So here's what's in the mushroom coffee is reishi mushroom. There's some chaga. There's some astragalus I put into the mushroom coffee. And then here is the recipe. It's here, mushroom coffee. And if you don't want to make it yourself, you don't have to. There are lots of places that you can get mushroom coffee. Four Sigmatic, I like. They're a good brand. But this is how you make it, right? Reishi chaga. And you can put in a ginger if you like. And that makes a nice big bunch. And that's if you want to make it yourself. But like I said, you don't have to. But follow the instructions. It's really easy. You just leave it on the stove for 3 hours and you got coffee for a week. Right? But not coffee, like I said, not caffeinated coffee, but the other coffee. Okay. Tracy says 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, it's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks, Kelly, for getting with her on that. JP says, did you say sugars from carrots, apples, dates, fruits, and vegetables can be as bad? No, no, no. JP, absolutely not. I've had clients tell me that they can't eat carrots because carrots are too high in sugar. I swear, I'm not even kidding. I've had them say that they can't eat squash because it's too high in sugar. So I want to make it clear that when I'm talking about sugar, I'm talking about ding dongs and donuts and a lot of the healthy, and I put healthy in quotes, the healthy foods that are all in the health food store that are loaded with sugar. But because they're in the health food store, we think they're healthy. They're not really. The kind of sugars that I'm talking about that are healthy for the body are the sugars that are in fruits and in vegetables, right? Those are the healthy sugars because they also come with a lot of other nutrients. Like, for example, if you're using berries are loaded with vitamin C as well as water and fiber. They're fantastic for the immune system. They're wonderful, right? So that's something to look at. But then those little fruity tooty drinks, that's like a sugar bomb, right? So like, the sugar drinks that I'm talking about. I don't want to badmouth anyone, because when I'm on road trips and I need a little boost and I'm on a road trip, I will go into the local Starbucks and I'll get one of those Fruity Tooty Odwalas, which is just a sugar bomb. And I know it is because, the majority of the fiber is missing, right? So that's what I call a sugar bomb. Um, so you have to be careful. You don't want so many blood sugar spikes, but certainly eat fruit, eat vegetables. These are great foods, JP. Um, okay. Iris says, if we plan to take the Holistic Health Cooking Certification, do I skip this class because it'll be covered in the program? No, Iris, this is actually a new class. So my Holistic Health Cooking Certification are classes that I've done over the past few years. But this class is a brand new class, so it won't be in that Holistic Health Cooking Certification program. Nina says, what about honey regarding the sugar issue? Don't overdo it with honey, because honey is, it's still a sugar. And we have a tendency to overdo the honeys and the maple syrups, especially in the health and wellness communities. So, be moderate. A teaspoon in your tea, not a tablespoon. That would be great. Sharon says, see you next week at the class. Great, Sharon. I will see you next week at the class. Looking forward to it. You're going to get a lot of fun new recipes. And okay, so I think that's all I got for now. Okay, so it's a 4:45. I want to thank you guys and gals for coming out. And if you have more questions, let me get to my last little slide. Let's see, here it is. You could connect with me on any of the social platforms. You could send me an email at info@andreabeaman.com, or connect with me on any of my Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Ooh, wrong page. And that's it. I want to thank you guys for coming out, for your questions, for your attention, for your interest, and just do the best that you can without any fear, right? Remember when we first opened this and we talked about the stress and the fear? I understand that a diagnosis can be scary, but if you can, just look at it from a wider perspective. Like I said, cancer has been around for a long time. It's only in our modern world today that the cancer death rate is so high. And again, don't let the fear get to you, because the fear of it, like, it's normal to be, to get that diagnosis and go, oh my God, cancer. But try not to let the cancer industry scare you into doing anything. Just be patient, take your time, change your blood. And by the way, just start preventing cancer right now. Right now, today, after we get off this webinar, join me in my class next week. You'll get a ton of information as well as recipes that you could start using right now that are totally delicious. Okay, so thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Keep yourself safe, and try not to use up all the toilet paper that is available in the world. Have a great day. Bye-bye.